New Zealand Archery Championships, the National Target Championships. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. As all the individual competitions are about to be decided, the bronze and the gold medal matches. This is a mixed teams competition or mixed competition. So we're going to have a match in just a moment to decide the bronze medal between David Wright on the North Shore and Kerry Hoole. We are going to be shooting from 50 metres at a target of 122 centimetres in diameter. That's the same sized target as the recurve competition, which is the Olympic format. So the only difference is they're 20 metres closer in the barebow competition. And we'll get into the differences between barebow and recurve in just a moment. Hoole is going to start with a 7, and we're in the set format as well. David Wright finished second last year, and he starts off nicely with a 10. That's perfect.
Puts a lot of pressure on Kerry.
Hoole, second arrow has a 5, so each archer will shoot 3 arrows, and a cumulative score will decide the set winner. It looks like an 8. So it looks like, well, he's gone a bit left of the target there, hasn't he, Hoole? His right looks like he will win this first set. And he starts with finishes with a 9. That's a pretty decent set there.
That's a great start.
27 to 18. With me in commentary here in the barebow competition is Vaughan Anderson, teammate of Kerry Hoole's at Waitakere. Nice to have you here, Vaughan.
Thank you.
And, well, David Wright, 27 out of 30.
I'll tell you what, I was watching him during the warm-up, and there's no way...
You get a 10.
You know, it's a real feeling thing when you start there, and if you can get that, you can imagine it, you're feeling so much more confident. That's 50 metres away. When you're there just by yourself and you watch someone else knock out a 10, it's a lot.
Nothing you can do about your opponent at all. It's really all on you.
You watch the other guy, comes back to you. It's really hard to practice for that kind of stuff mentally. And you watch, that guy can flick off 6 arrows in about, he just pulls back and lets it rip really fast.
So David Wright, 27 to 18, he takes the 2 set points. Yeah. And it's first to 6 set points.
Here's a good view of it there. He's aiming off his arrow tip.
Well, again, he's gone left of the target. Yeah. Starts with a 6.
And you watch David here. The
difference in barebow, of course, is the bow itself. Compared with recurve.
Yeah.
So 5 arrows, Kerry's gone left every single time, which is really interesting. Wright has an 8, so
what they're really doing is, like, their arrow tip, it's almost, they should be aiming almost straight down the line here and putting the arrow tip on the gold.
Okay, so
not like yesterday, we were aiming at the black.
So 9, sorry, Kerry's Hoole is total 9 on the line. Now, if that will be a 7.
Call that a 7.
If you're watching archery for the first time, Wright looks like he's taken control of this bronze medal barebow match against Kerry Hoole. We had David Wright, dare I say it, Vaughan, beat
there. He really pushed Regan. Yes, he did. It was exciting to watch, actually.
Yeah, and Regan, fair play to Regan Walters, who we'll see in the final. Yeah. He stepped up and nailed a 10 in that shoot-off yesterday.
Fantastic shot.
And
the Olympic style.
The Olympic, which is the Olympic format.
Yeah.
And this. What's the major differences here?
They don't have sights, all right? So they're aiming off. They're using their arrow to actually aim down the arrow tip, and they put that on the target. They don't have a clicker to say how far back they've pulled the arrow, and they don't have stabilizers to actually just hold it still. All those things are just made to actually make you more accurate. And like we're talking earlier, barebow is more like trying to perfect the perfect golf swing.
Yes.
There's literally hundreds of things that go into making the perfect shot, and you just have to get them all right.
Well, it's it's almost a pure form of the sport.
Yes.
And it's exploding.
In that warm-up, he was just putting everything together right in the centre. So you look at him now, he's taking a deep breath.
Starts with a 6.
He's gone the other way now. He's overcorrected.
Yeah.
Notice David, he draws under the chin. He's a bit more classic style.
Oh, very high there. That might only be a 3.
That's leaving the door open for Kerry. Here he comes. Needs to relax and just let it fly.
Well, anything in the yellow will be... Don't think Wright, even if he got a 10 there, would have been able... Would have been in with a chance there. So it looks like Kerry with a score of 23.
He gets a bit of a break there.
Yeah, and David Wright's totaled 16 in that third set, so Hoole will stay alive, Natch.
So the other interesting thing about the way they do aim is you notice Kerry draws to the side of his mouth. Kerry, he's shooting 3 fingers under, and which means all his 3 fingers are actually beneath the nib. And to keep on winning from here on, and he can't
for the last set. That's right. He needs to keep going. Kerry Hoole, interesting character. He only picked up. He's one of these late, I guess, characters into the sport. He's only been. He was telling me before. He's only been competing for 6 years, and he switched to the Barebow 3 years ago. He's right. That's a better one. That's the 3rd arrow out of the yellow zone.
Pressure on Kerry. So yeah. 7.
So
if Dave can get in the goal,
big arrow, this one.
Yeah, this is the big one. This could be a match.
Basically, yeah,
this is the fun stuff.
Thought that might have hit the 7 zone.
Goodness me.
So 22. So an 8 or better.
Yeah.
An 8 or better will win the bronze medal here for David Wright.
Yesterday he popped this in the 10 when he beat me.
It is, but this match could be over. David Wright, look, he's staring it down.
He's really coming from the back of the pack, you know, the lowest. And he's busy.
Sorry, 23 to 22. Yes, there is confirmation. So this match is over, and it is David Wright from Shorey who has the bronze medal in the Barebow.
And his march continues.
It's a great effort from David Wright. He has won the bronze medal by 6 set points to 2. Another medal for him.
Well done, David.
Followed up his 2nd placing in last year's competition.
All right, and there's Meike there, giving him congratulations.
And this is the great thing about this sport. They're all supportive.
One of the major sponsors there, James Kinnear there from Archery Warehouse. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much. And he's here supporting his staff shooter, Regan.
Well, we'll get on to the final in just a moment. But congratulations to David Wright. He's won the bronze Barebow 6 set points to 2. We've got the gold medal match coming up in just a moment. The other thing we must mention is we just get the gold medal match to look forward to now between Regan Walters and Meike Voiht.
Yeah, well, these two are quite exciting archers to watch, actually. They're actually, between the two of them, you know, like Meike in New Zealand, she's claimed all the Barebow records for her division. Regan is similarly, he's come over from the field archery to do a bit of target. And he's kind of been coached and mentored by Mike Savage, who's a bit of a legend in archery circles in New Zealand. And he's come on in leaps and bounds. He's the guy that's going to give us, all us Barebowers, the scare. He just told me he's going to come and shoot the seniors next year. So
good luck.
He's going to keep us honest.
Back to the practice targets for you then, Voiht, eh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at that. I mean, the conditions, we must mention the conditions. It's a glorious day here, folks. It's very little wind.
30-kilometre winds going across the front of the target. You know, we try and get into the centre. And that's the thing with the Barebow, with that and target recurve, is they don't shoot as fast as the compounders. So you do actually have to aim well off target sometimes because we have to float those arrows in. You get to see the arrow.
Well, we've got Voiht against Walters. Let's tell you about Meike. Originally from South Africa. There she is on the left.
Yep.
And she's had some success too just a couple of weeks ago as well. And she has beaten John Way 7-3 in her first match, and then beat Kerry Hoole in the semi 6 set points to 2. Yes. And Regan Walters just 18 years of age. There he is on the right of screen there. Originally a he's from Franklin County Archers Club.
Yep.
And he is actually a world bow hunting champion in the youth recurve division.
So that's the field
September
archery.
last year, yeah.
And that was a big competition. And he was just a few points off setting a world record. So, you know, that's how good he is. He can just pick up a bow, shoot your discipline, and just make it look easy.
Yeah, that was in South Dakota. That was in South Dakota in America. So this boy is one to watch.
Yes, he is.
And he had a bye. He is the top seed in this competition.
Yep.
He had a bye in the first round and then beat David Wright, as I touched on earlier, 6-5. He beat him in a shoot-off in the semi, 10-5. When you get a shoot-off, folks, it's basically closest to the centre wins. And he put it in the 10 ring.
In the wind, too. You know, the wind was howling. You know, the wind yesterday was a great leveller. Today, you know, these two are going to be on show, well, on form, I hope, because there's no wind. They'll be in the element. And you can see over there, it's actually James Kinney. He's got both of them as staff shooters for Archery Warehouse. So I don't know who he's hoping. He's talking to them both. Look at them going. The arms are going. Yes. They're having a lot of fun, though, when they get out there.
Well, we're just waiting for the targets to just get sorted at the end. That gives us an opportunity to tell you what's coming up. Compound will follow this match. The women's compound first. That starts at 10 o'clock. Then we'll have the men's compound at 11. And the women's matches, Lauren Tucker, Emma Argyle, that's the bronze. And then at 10:30, Elizabeth Randall, Sophia Redgrove will play each other in the women's. And then the men's matches start at 11 o'clock this morning. And then later on, we'll have the recurve at 1 p.m. Women's starting at 1 p.m., followed by the men's. And we have some really good archers in action there.
Just looking at those names there here.
Riley Griffiths, keep your eye on him. He's only 13, folks. He's competing for a bronze medal at the national champs. That is remarkable.
Right, so I think they're putting out they've got the clean targets up every time they need to replace the target faces, just to make sure, you know, you can't claim a hole in there. It was my one in the centre.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience, Vaughan.
I'll try anything once, yes.
So here come the archers. Same format as before, folks. It's a best of 3 set encounter.
And look at that. As soon as they step up to the line, here comes the wind. Just their luck.
Yes, and this is the other thing about archery too. The wind at the shooting end can be slightly different to the strength wind at the target end. Meike Voiht, again, another archer who's picked up the sport later in life. She said she went along and to support her, I think one of her kids, and said she became addicted instantly.
Yes, I mean, she competed at one of the World Archery Indoor events in Sydney, part of their
2 weeks ago?
It was in January.
Yes.
And she cleaned up there.
She won that. Yep, that was the. That's a great effort. So it's going to be Voiht to go first. With the first arrow.
No, he seems to be shooting second.
So she starts with a 7.
See, Regan's 3 fingers under, just at the corner of his mouth, and he pulls a 9 nicely. So he's got 9 and an 8.
Hey, that's a good start from Walters. Voiht with a 6 with her second. So
it's very uncharacteristic of her too, the way she's been shooting this weekend.
That's a good start for Walters. He'll win this first set. A 9 and 2 8s. He can't be beaten in this first set, even if Voiht gets a 10. Yeah, I don't think we can underestimate that last arrow. So let's just tally the points up. 22 for Voiht, and it looks like 25 for Walters. So 25 to 22.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, these guys, when they're normally shooting in these perfect conditions, you know, they're looking at 25 or better. You know, which is on par with the target archers, just a little bit below because they don't have the sights. But they when you sit here and watch them, they just make it look easy. You know, you can't underestimate the kind of pressure they are just shooting one and then watching the other person shoot a good arrow. It does apply so much more pressure on you because you're just trying to go back to your shot routine.
Yeah.
You know, and keep it simple. And then you get that voice in the back of your head.
Gets the first 2
So
set points.
Meike will start because she lost that previous round. And I quite like shooting first, actually. It just gives you that opportunity to put that pressure on the other person with one good shot. Gets you back in the game.
Well, let's see. So 2 sevens to start with.
See, if you're looking at his online, he's got his height right. He's just not centering that.
Well, she hasn't. She's gone astray with a 5. So that opens the door big time here for Walters.
Keep his composure. Ooh, see the twitch? See the twitch.
And
boom. And he was time limited there. Just as it hit the target, the shot timer went off.
That's right. So maybe that was the issue there with him with the time. So a 6 there for Walters. So we'll just wait for this.
With that little flinch there, that's the big curse you have. You know, you've got no clicker to pull through. You come up, you think it's about time, you're anticipating the shot, but your mind's not ready to let go. Get that big wobble going.
Just the score's been ratified. That target end.
Looks like it.
I reckon Walters will have it by a point, or maybe points.
Like they're adjusting Regan's score card down the base there. They'll give him 4. Here we go. So it's 2 points for every time. Exciting time.
But now Voight's got the pressure, same as Kerry Hoole had in the bronze medal match, where she's got to win the set or at least tie it.
She really does have it in her, you know. Hold and do that.
Better.
Put it in.
Second one in the yellow zone for Voiht.
Nice way to start. And he comes back with a 9. It looks like himself. Nice reply.
And he's got a quick release, hasn't he? He doesn't muck around, Regan Walters. He's only 18, remember, with a 1-point lead with 1 arrow left.
Really does need a 10.
He's got a 9.
That's enough pressure.
So
here we go.
It might be an 8.
They might halve that.
This is it, and this is the beauty of the sport too, with the sets format.
Yeah, you can bounce back.
Walters steps up. Well, last arrow needs anything in the yellow zone, and he'd be the gold medalist right now, folks. But he just missed by 1.
For a while in his time as well, so he's in good hands, you know. Meike, on the other hand, you know, she's just a wonderful lady as well, who's come leaps and bounds for someone that's just been shooting barebow for 2 years. Yes. It's hard to believe.
Well, as we touched on earlier, Regan, remember, is a world champion, but in a completely different category of archery. But, you know, it doesn't really matter if you're a world champion in this or whatever on arrow, folks. So they have squared that set at 25 points each. So 5 set points to 1. 2 sets left, which means Voiht must win the last 2 sets to send. So Walters with an 8.
Both of them wouldn't be too happy with that shot, but they're damn happy it's not in the blue ring, though.
Ooh, that could be really costly for Voiht.
I think that's...
It could be the ball game.
He'll plonk it in the gold now, I know.
Well, he doesn't need to, really.
Yep. Just that one shot. And that comes down to your release. Just a bad release.
She's come back with the 6, 17, so it's just a 2 or better. In fact, it's a 1 or better here for Walters, and he will win the gold medal.
Well done, Regan. Look at this. Oh, gee.
Jeepers, he flirted with disaster there, Walters. But that should be good enough for Regan Walters.
Oh, my God. You won it with a 3. That doesn't happen very often.
It certainly doesn't. So there we are. The lowest scoring set of the match, but it doesn't matter.
You put that down to pressure. Nothing else. Yeah.
Walters is going to be the national champion in the barebow. Just
at 18,
confirmation. There it is.
Yep.
It's all confirmed now. Regan Walters.
There we go. Well done, Regan. Yeah, fantastic.
The national champion. Keep your eye on that name, folks, if you're an archery fan.
He's coming up. He's coming up. He's going to be the man of the future. That's for sure.
So he takes the final 2 set points, and he's got it in the bag, 7-1.
Doesn't he look happy? Smile, Regan. You're a winner. It's okay now.
Well done to Regan Walters. A brilliant effort beating Meike Voiht in the end by 7 sets to 1. And we will be back at 10 a.m., folks. 10 a.m. for the compound. Make sure you stay with us here on the finals day of the National Archery Championships. Yeah,